the chapter number 5 of standard 9 NCERT syllabus. As you know, the name of the chapter is the fundamental unit of life. So here in this chapter we were studying about the cell, that is a structural and functional unit of life. We studied about the cell, that a cell looks like honeycomb. The cell is a Latin word discovered by Robert Hooke. Then we studied about the contributions of various scientists in the field of cell biology. Then I told you that a cell have many components in the cell, okay, and these components are known as cell organelles. So today we are going to study about cell organelles, but before it we have to study the main three components which we have discussed in our first lecture, that is a nucleus, a cell membrane or plasma membrane, and cytoplasm. These three we have to study. So let's start with the plasma membrane. So these are the main features or components of the cell. First, plasma membrane. As we all know that plasma membrane is also known as cell membrane. Okay, it is nothing but a outer covering of the cell. Okay, and it is also known as selectively permeable membrane. Now, why it is known as selectively permeable membrane? Because when the cell requires any substance or any substance move in or out of the cell, then it must have to take the permission from the plasma membrane. Means what? The plasma membrane selects the substance which can move inward or outward from the cell. Okay, so when plasma membrane selects, that substance only can move inside the cell or go outside the cell. That's why it is known as selectively permeable membrane. Selectively means it selects, as I told. Permeable means it gives permission to enter or exit. Okay, and membrane means boundary, right? So again, plasma membrane is known as a cell membrane or selectively permeable membrane. The substances move inside and outside of the cell. As I told you that the substances will be selected by plasma membrane. But how they move inside or outside? A cell does not have a mouth. Okay, so how they move inside? So for that, the substances move inside and outside the cell by the process of diffusion and osmosis. So these are two words which we have never learned, right? So let's learn one by one. Okay, diffusion and osmosis. Okay, first of all, let's learn about diffusion. Diffusion is what? Diffusion means movement of substance from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. Okay, here the definition is written. Diffusion means movement of substances from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. Means the substances will move from higher to lower. For example, okay, in the surroundings there are 10 molecules of oxygen, and inside the cell there are only 2 molecules of oxygen. Then the cell, inside the cell there is lower concentration, and outside the cell means in surrounding there is higher concentration of the cell. So oxygen will move from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. Means the oxygen will move from the outside to the inside. Right? So this is known as diffusion. Generally, oxygen, carbon dioxide and any other gases will move from the cell or to the cell by this process that is known as diffusion. But it will depend on the concentration of that substance inside the cell or outside the cell. Let's see an example. Generally gases like CO2 and O2 moves by diffusion, as I told. Here I have drawn a figure. This is a cell. This is cell membrane. It is cytoplasm and the middle is nucleus. Right? So here if we see, then we can see that the concentration of carbon dioxide is more inside the cell. As we know that when we breathe, we take oxygen, and as oxygen goes inside the cell, it will move to the cell, and in the cell the food is present. So what happens? The food will oxidized by the cell, so we get energy and carbon dioxide is released. So that carbon dioxide is present here. And outside the cell, in the surroundings, only one molecule of carbon dioxide is there. This is just an example to understand, right? So, where carbon dioxide will move? From the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. So, carbon dioxide will move from the inside to the outside, right? So, here we can write CO2 inside to outside. Right? Same about oxygen. We can see here that oxygen are 3 in the surrounding. Molecules of oxygen are 3 in the surroundings, and only one oxygen is present inside the cell. Right? So, where to where it will move? Oxygen will move from the outside, that is higher concentration, to the inside, that is lower concentration. So oxygen will move from the higher concentration to the lower concentration. So this is known as diffusion. Once again, let's repeat the definition of diffusion. That diffusion means the movement of substance from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. Right? So gases like carbon dioxide and oxygen follow the rules of diffusion. Now the next is osmosis. Let's see first the definition of it. Osmosis means the movement of water molecules from the region of high water concentration to the region of low water concentration through the selectively permeable membrane till the equilibrium reached. So let's see each and every term of this definition. The movement of water molecules. So what is the main difference between diffusion and osmosis? That in diffusion the gas molecules or the substance will move from higher concentration to the lower concentration. In osmosis water molecule will move. So movement of water molecules from the region of higher water concentration to the region of lower water concentration through the selectively permeable membrane means the water molecules will move through this selectively permeable membrane till the equilibrium reached. Equilibrium reached means equal at both the sides. Say for example, I have two containers. Okay, container A and container B. Now container A is filled with water. Full. It is full filled, right? And container B is totally empty. Now what I am doing, I am placing a pipe between these two containers. So what happens? Can you imagine? Yes, you are right. The water from container A will move and container B will be filled with water. But till how it will be filled with water? So till both the container get equal amount of water, till that the water molecules will move from container A to container B. So this is known as equilibrium, means in both the container now we have equal amount of water. So let's again see the definition of osmosis. The movement of water molecules from the region of higher water concentration to the region of lower water concentration through the selectively permeable membrane till the equilibrium reached. Right? So this is about osmosis. Here the water molecules will move from cell to the outside or from the outside to the cell. So whenever this osmosis occur, there are chances of three conditions. Means if we take a cell and place it in the solution which contains water, okay, then there are three conditions which can be happen. So which are these three conditions? Let's see. For example, first we have put the cell in the container which is having good water concentration, means we can say that higher water concentration. So what happens? Here inside the cell the lower one's water concentration, okay, and this is higher water concentration. See, you can see by just counting the water molecules. This is just an example to understand. Outside the cell there are 4 water molecules and inside the cell there are only 2 water molecules. So what happens? According to osmosis, water molecules will move from the high water concentration to the low water concentration. Means here the water will move outside, from the outside to the inside, right? So how much water will move from outside to inside? Only one molecule here, right? So for example, this molecule will move inside, because as it will move inside the equilibrium happens, right? 3 molecules of water molecules inside the cell and 3 molecules of water outside the cell. So equilibrium reached, right? So as the water moves inside the cell, then what happens to the cell? Yes, you are right, the cell swells, right? So swelling of the cell will happen, right? Then this type of solution which have high water concentration is known as hypotonic solution. Hypotonic solution. Okay, once again, the solution which have high water concentration is known as hypotonic solution. Now second condition or situation is, we are placing the cell in the solution which have same amount of molecule as the cell have, right? So let's see here, here there are 3 water molecules outside the cell and 3 water molecules inside the cell. So there will be movement of water molecules from outside to the inside, but there will be no net exchange. Means the water molecules will remain constant, will remain same as it is, because the outside and the inside of the cell having the same number of water molecules. So the cell does not show any change. Means in the cell there will be no change. And this type of solution in which the water molecules, number of water molecules are same, then it is known as isotonic solution. Isotonic solution. Okay, once again, the solution which contains the same amount of water molecule or same concentration of water molecules, then it is known as isotonic solution. Okay, the last one is this situation in which you can see here we are placing the cell in a solution which has lower water concentration. Means here the H2O, okay, water molecule you can see here is 2, okay, and inside the cell there are 4 water molecules. So what happens? The water molecules from the inside of the cell will move to the outside of the cell. For example, this water molecule is moving from inside to outside. Till how much it will move? Here only one molecule will move, because as it moves outside, both inside and outside the cell, there are only 3 water molecules, means equilibrium occurs, right? So here what happens, as the cell loses the water, the cell will shrink. So the cell shrinks, and this type of solution in which the water concentration is low outside the cell, okay, is known as hypertonic solution. So this type of solution is known as hypertonic solution. So these are the various conditions of osmosis. Osmosis is very important in unicellular organisms and many plants. Unicellular organisms do not have mouth, so they take the water molecules or substances or gases like CO2 and O2 through the process of diffusion and osmosis. So in freshwater plants as well as unicellular organisms, this both the process, diffusion and osmosis, is very important for intake or to excrete the substances. Here we are talking about plasma membrane. So plasma membrane is made up of organic molecule known as lipids and proteins. It is very flexible. So because of its flexibility, flexible means it can stretch as well as it can shrink, as we have seen here, right? So because of its flexibility, the substance can move inside or outside. Due to the flexibility of plasma membrane, some organisms like amoeba can easily engulf the food from its surrounding, and this process is known as endocytosis. So this is all about plasma membrane. Now in our next lecture we are going to study about the cytoplasm and the nucleus.
आभार।